Our world is becoming smaller and smaller by the day. As we become more connected through technology, we can connect, we can talk to people in China, in Japan, in Europe in a second's notice. Our world is becoming more and more globalized by the minute. And that means for our students that they need to be more prepared, more skilled, and they need to know more content than ever before. In order for an individual student or our country as a whole to compete in the global marketplace, our students need to be ready for the workplace. And as our world changes, education is going to change as well. And one thing that students need to do and to be able to do as they go into the workforce is that they need to know the knowledge and the content that's presented in the traditional education system. And they also need to know the skills that it takes to perform these certain jobs. One thing that teachers can do in the classroom to help students evolve is to use technology in the classroom. Now, the common misconception about technology in the classroom is that teachers are finding ways to incorporate it into their lectures, into their PowerPoints, but that's not the case. When we talk about incorporating technology into the classroom, we're specifically talking about how students use technology. And as students use technology, it should be used for them to work their way up Bloom's taxonomy levels. They need to first understand or have knowledge of the specific content at hand. And as they understand it, then they work their way up into analyzing it and eventually using it, applying it, and creating it with different situations. A good example of this in the classroom would be with my freshman social studies class. I teach geography in the fall and economics in the spring. And when spring comes around, I always do an NCAA March Madness unit. I spend 2 weeks teaching about March Madness, the importance that it has not only to the United States, but to Kentucky as a whole. Because in Kentucky, basketball and tradition of Kentucky basketball is a big deal. And as we go through the history and some of the impacts that the NCAA tournament has, my students at the very end, their culminating project is to create a travel plan for a specific NCAA team that they've drawn from a hat. And it could be anyone from Davidson, it could be UNC, it could be University of Kentucky, or it could be a small mid-major school. But they have to plan their way through the tournament so that not only do they have to know the structure of the tournament, they have to use logistics to get their way from point A to point B and eventually to the championship. They have to go in, they have to book hotels, they have to book flights, arrange transportation for the players and for the team. And as they're doing this, they're using the computer lab to research, and they're getting some content and some background knowledge on prices around the world. So that deals with the economics part of it. And also we're incorporating geography into the unit as well, because they have to look up different places, different towns, different arenas that they're going to be playing in. So they learn geography, they learn economics, and also they're creating a budget. They have to list every single topic that they spend money on. Everything must be accounted for the NCAA to reimburse them. So as you see, one other thing that teachers need to do as our world becomes more globalized is to incorporate curriculum from other contents, whether it be economics, whether it be geography, or whether it be mathematics. And as you combine those different contents in those different areas, students will have a deeper understanding, and that understanding will be put into their long-term memory as time goes by. So ultimately, our schools not only need to incorporate technology, but we need to teach the content, teach the skills, and use Bloom's taxonomy in order to lead for long-term memory.